Why should the average citizen run for office? And what would it take to convince you to do it? Hello everybody, my name is Claire Van Steenwyk, and I'd like to answer the question about why I believe citizens, non-politicians, should run for office. I got involved in politics at a rather young age, back just when TV had started. I was 5 years old in 1952, not quite 6 yet, and I watched my first political convention in the living room of our house in Bellflower, California, where they were nominating Dwight David Eisenhower, General Eisenhower at the time, for President of the United States. And I was fascinated with that process. It just kind of grabbed a hold of me. Well, a few years later, he'd won the race in '52.
The Constitution of the United States. So help you God. So help me God.
And in '56, he was running for re-election. And I felt like I should do something. So I went out and got little books that looked like constitutions and brought them door to door. They were called the President's Book. Inside the front and back cover were pictures of all the presidents up through Eisenhower with a history about them and some other things in of the book. I passed out hundreds of those things. I think in the beginning, the people at the polling place of the Republican headquarters didn't take me very seriously, but eventually they gave me more than 3 or 4 books at a time. And I've always been interested ever since then. I enjoyed government classes and civics classes, history classes in school, but I never got totally involved in politics. As a young man, I ran businesses, created businesses, did Christian outreach and other things, and so even though I've been asked to run for office at city council and other things where I lived, never felt the real call to do it, and felt I was doing enough with what I was doing. I voted, I donated a little bit, put a yard sign in my yard like a lot of people do, and that was my total involvement in it. And I did that for a number of years up until after I retired, but always a little involved in it, always kept up with it, always watched all of it. After I retired, I got asked more by people to do it, but we were then building a couple of businesses in Iowa with apartments and houses and an antique business and other things, so still too busy to really get involved that way, but still stayed busy at it. And then when we got back to California and then eventually Idaho, the question came up again. Finally, we ended up here in Arizona. And I, by this time in retirement, was on the radio doing political talk and Bible studies, etc., and being more and more active. And was interviewing all these candidates on my show, and always wondered why I got some of the answers I used to get from them, because it just fascinated me that they'd say some of the things they'd say when I asked them questions, and I knew they weren't telling the truth because I knew what their records were. And when I confronted them with it, they actually got a little agitated about it and tried to defend why they made political deals and made compromises. And I just told them, I said, you know, you could have done the right thing, but instead you did the wrong thing. So basically for me, it became good versus evil. And then in 2012, we had the open U.S. Senate seat here in Arizona. And I just felt compelled to run. I was asked by some people to do it, so I did. And I was quite well known in the state at the time. And I ran, as most of you would know if you remember 2012, against Jeff Flake, the favorite congressional guy, and a guy by the name of Will Cardin, and a former mayor, a recalled mayor out of Youngtown, I think Hackbarth. So we ran, traveled the whole state and enjoyed the entire experience. We didn't win, but we did make a difference on issues, because I'd compare every issue to the Constitution. And I'd tell people, if you're going to wonder how someone votes, does the bill they're voting on or the issue they're talking about comply with the Constitution that they've sworn an oath to? And if it doesn't, it shouldn't even be up for a vote at all. But more and more people are more concerned about, are you a conservative versus are you a liberal, than they are about what you really do. This is dangerous to our country. And we've fallen so far short of what our country was meant to be originally. By that, I don't mean we're bigots and prejudiced and all the rest of it. I'm talking about the government. The government was set up to do certain things, and it's gotten involved in certain things it shouldn't be involved in, and let the other things just go by the wayside, which has caused us a lot of trouble over the years. And my appeal to all of you is this, especially those of you who are old enough now and maybe successful enough that you can afford to run for office, and some of you who have retired, as I have, and have the time to run for office and be more involved in the system and understanding what's going on, and not really care about getting reelected if they don't like you, as long as you do the right thing. We have far too many people in office who aren't concerned with doing the right thing. They're only concerned with getting reelected so that they can get a benefit from it, retirement, maybe a better job when they get out of office on a board or as a lobbyist or etc. Not really in serving the people. I believe I was fortunate to be born in this country, to get all the freedoms and opportunities I've had in this country. So when the opportunity arose for me to run, which I look at as giving back some of what I was gaining over all these years, I did. And I would recommend that anybody that has an opportunity or feels a calling in their heart to keep this country a free republic should do the same. Now I realize for the 2020 election, it's a little late, but it's not too late for the next one. So any of you that watch this, that have a love of history and a love of country and feel compelled in your heart that, you know, there's something you could do, there's things you have to give. Sure, it's difficult. Some people won't like you. They may say bad and evil things about you. The thing you have to remember is this, is why you do it. Not why people don't like what you're doing or why people maybe don't like you, but why are you doing it? What's your motivation for doing this? What are you really trying to get done? And if your motivation is trying to continue to strengthen our republic, keep America free for generations yet unborn, then you've got the right motivation and you ought to use it. If you've got the knowledge and the ability to talk to people and the will to fight the insiders in government on both sides of the aisle, because you'll have to fight them both, then I ask all of you to step up and run in 2022. Start preparing for it. And for any of you who may need any help, say here in Arizona or wherever else due to the computer systems now, I'd be more than happy for you to contact me and I can tell you how to do it. Because I'm going to tell you something. I just ran in Arizona in Maricopa County, the largest county in the state, for county recorder. It cost me $390 to run for that office. And for $390, and I'll explain that some other time, that's all the money we could raise, I got 42.5% of the vote, equaling exactly 153,906 votes, I believe it was. So it cost me exactly 1 penny to get 3 votes. My opponent spent over $125,000 to get the other 57.5% of the vote. So just think of what could have been done if I'd have had another $20,000. You can win offices without spending a fortune, but the first thing you have to do is have the motivation to serve and to get something done. And the secondly is actually, whether people like this or not, is have the courage to step up and do it. We've had a few people lately that have done that. We need more. If you're thinking about it, get a hold of us. We'd be more than happy to help you. Like I say, I'm working on a campaign helping somebody right now here in Arizona. So think about this. Think about the blessings you have and where you're born and the freedoms you've got. And do you have any ability or talent to give back to that? Because I believe a lot of you do. God bless you and thank you very much for taking the time to listen to this. And by the way, like I said, contact us. We're on Facebook at Vance Crossroads. On Facebook at Vance Crossroads, website vancecrossroads.com. So get a hold of us. God bless and have a great day.